Alright, well, since I have the thing in my hand, I'll just start it off then. It's time for our annual best to worst list of the movies of 2017 that we saw. And almost all of these movies have reviews on our channel, so we won't go into too much detail, maybe just a couple sentences about why things are placed where they are. And otherwise, you can check out the reviews for all the individual movies.
We're not going to rant until shit gets good.
Just kind of quick run through it. So, at number 1 is
Best movie of the year.
Best movie of the year. Yep, we go best to worst because the worst is the more fun stuff to talk about. Number 1 is Blade Runner 2049. It's a beautiful movie and a great sequel.
Great looking, kind of dull at times, but just such a great plot, and everything is really well put together. Next off, we have, this is like the least professional thing. Next year we'll do it on the laptop. It's better than Notepad like last year. Next up, we have John Wick Chapter 2. Good sequel to John Wick. Another good action movie. Not necessarily as good as the first John Wick, I don't think. The first John Wick was excellent. Obviously common and stuff, which really added to the movie. It was a pretty damn good movie.
3, we got Baby Driver. Fun movie, good music,
good use of soundtrack, good story, all around pretty solid. Next we got Blade Runner. Oh, what? Why did you go back to the top? Yeah, you scrolled back up for no fucking reason. I'm scrolling down the list. Whatever. Next up we got Spider-Man Homecoming. Probably the most accurate Spider-Man movie yet. Pretty solid movie. I mean, Tom Holland was a pretty good Spider-Man. Michael Keaton as Vulture was kind of cool, seeing stuff go full circle. Good little watch. Definitely one of the best superhero movies recent years.
Number 5 is Dunkirk, Christopher Nolan's only good film
in the last several years.
Good use of not sound, good use of not dialogue, because Christopher Nolan cannot dialogue.
Yeah.
And a pretty fun historical movie.
Best Christopher Nolan movie probably since Batman Begins, at least. Next up is Logan. Kind of a cool story for Logan, or Wolverine I should say, set in the future. We see Charles Xavier later in life. Definitely a really savage X-Men movies. Nothing was held back. Everything was really strong, powerful, cool father-daughter story overall, and just a really good movie.
Number 7 is American Made, which was a pretty low-key movie. Tom Cruise is really good in it. He's always got that kind of intensity about him. And overall, it's an interesting biopic about some guy who likes guns.
Kind of a similar, well, I wouldn't say that was anything like what the movie was like, but it was kind of like a Wolf of Wall Street clone where some guys flying around and shit.
It's like a Wolf of Wall Street clone, but it wasn't as bad as the one with Jonah Hill last year.
Yep.
Or Dogs.
Logan Lucky. Hick heist film is the best way to describe it. Channing Tatum was in it. Adam Driver, Kylo Ren was in it, I believe.
Yep.
And, they
Daniel
robbed.
Craig.
Yeah, Daniel Craig was in it too. Pretty good movie. Didn't hear a ton about it this year, but definitely one of the somewhat hidden gems of the year. Definitely worth a watch.
So next up, we put Roman J. Israel Esquire, a movie that got a lot more shit than it deserved, which, it's an interesting drama. But I don't know why it got shit on so much, because it's pretty fun, a little bit. Like, it's not as good as Nightcrawler, but it's decent. Yeah, it's Nightcrawler.
XXX Return of Xander Cage. Obviously, it's on here just because of the meme factor. Fucking crazy movie. Vin Diesel Diesel's fucking jumping off of telephone towers. He assembles the team, magically comes back to life. People are magically coming back to life left and right. Samuel L. Jackson got smashed by a satellite and somehow survived the ordeal. Ice Cube fucking comes out of nowhere. Ice Cube's crazy as fuck. The ultimate meme in 2017. Great fucking action movie to waste time with.
There's a lot. Underneath that, we have the Lego Batman movie, and it's a kids movie, but it's well done, well made.
Pretty good until the climax. The climax is pretty weak, but it was cool seeing like obscure Batman characters. Michael Cera's Robin was pretty funny. We had what's his name from Arrested Development? Will Arnett. That's kind of interesting. They had like the Arrested Development, some people from Arrested Development on that. Next is Kingsman Golden Circle, solid action movie. Really cool seeing a sequel to Kingsman. Pretty forgettable. I mean, it was a cool action movie, but it's kind of forgettable pretty fast. Same thing as the original Kingsman. I mean, I saw this movie 3 months ago. I'm already fading away. I remember the part where the guy got meat grinded. I remember Elton John memeing it up.
Not a good meme.
It happened there. And it'll be a movie I'll forget in a year, just like the last Kingsman.
Wonder Woman was a movie that was better than the rest of the DC movies, so people think it's a lot better than it is, but it's okay.
Wonder Woman was a girl, and she fought in World War I. It was an okay movie. Next, another superhero movie. Actually, our superhero movie's kind of stacked on this. I didn't even realize that. Thor Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok was pretty good. It played up the comedy a lot more than the other Thor movies. Overall, it was a better movie than the other Thor movies, but people kind of sucked its dick just because it was a Marvel movie. I still wouldn't particularly put it in the high ranks of a Marvel movie, but it's an entertaining time. Cool seeing Hulk and Thor team up, kind of an interesting team up, interesting dynamic there, and it was alright.
Closest we'll ever get to a Hulk movie.
Yeah, well, for a while.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 was like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 all over again, but a little bit worse. But I like Kurt Russell because I like Kurt Russell.
Next movie, It. The cast of Stranger Things stars in a remake of It. It is a pretty okay movie. Biggest problem with it is it's not even remotely scary for a horror movie. Granted, the original, and it's based on a crappy book. Lots of swearing. You got Pennywise that looks like a fucking... does not look scary at all, and he's comically large, and he looks like a fucking retard jumping around the screen the whole time. Not scary, but solid enough adaptation. I don't know why they're making a sequel to it and didn't just make it one, but whatever.
Next up is The Fate of the Furious, which is
A movie I've completely forgot, but I remember it was okay.
disappointing.
Not as good as Furious 7.
Furious 7 was a fucking masterpiece.
It was a meme-sterpiece.
And the Fate of the Furious was...
I think we underplay in this video how much XXX Return to Xander Cage is a meme, because it was a step above Fast and Furious 7.
It was a crazy meme.
Honestly, if it wasn't good just for being such a fucking meme, it would be higher on
Furious
the list.
7 had a huge meme factor. Triple X had an even bigger meme factor, and then Fate of the Furious, like, we gotta take this shit a little more serious, and they cranked down the memes, and it stopped being fun.
Next one's Jumanji. Latest review. Okay movie. Family and friends. Watch that review. Just came out.
The Hitman's Bodyguard was passed.
Ryan Reynolds and Sam Jackson's buddy cop movie, where they team up and become friends. And it turns out Samuel L. Jackson kills people for a living, but isn't that bad. The Foreigner, Jackie Chan fights Irish people. kind of slow, kind of boring, has its moments. Whatever.
Happy Death Day was a really good concept that wasn't executed very well. So it
Executed like a Pretty Little Liars episode made for women. Pretty much exclusively for women, but marketed
very
like
good
it was a horror
idea,
movie.
done kind of poorly.
Horror Groundhog Day.
I think that's a great idea.
Not in theory. Atomic Blonde. Things like convoluted, boring, nothing really made sense. I would say this is the point where movies go from okay to pretty bad. Pretty bad is the okay of bad. Atomic Blonde was pretty
John
fucking
Wick
terrible.
worse.
It was John Wick, but a hell of a lot worse. It didn't really make sense. There were like 40 twists, but all of them contradicted themselves, and it's like kind of a stretch to believe.
Next up, Fist Fight, which was a comedy about teachers who punch each other.
Yeah, I mean, Ice Cube
But
and
not
Charlie
that
Day are kind of exciting. It was a good enough story. It was a good enough story, but I mean, it was pretty bad. Next up is Jigsaw. Aidan was defending this movie because he. Next up was Jigsaw. Aidan defended this movie, even though Saw has not had a single good movie. Saw has not had a single good movie. Okay.
Saw 1 is good.
Okay, I don't know how you like the Saw franchise. Every
Saw
Saw movie is unbearably bad.
Saw 1 is good.
I can't sit through a Saw movie.
Saw 1 is a
Saw movies are just
Saw
Sasuke Uchiha.
Sasuke's
like, Naruto will give you a slow death.
Saw 1 is a good thriller. Saw 2 is a good movie. Saw 3 is okay.
I've seen like half the Saw movies. I've never found one I liked.
The first movie is great.
I've seen the first one.
Jigsaw's
bad.
I think Jigsaw should have been higher, but I can see why it landed where it did.
Jigsaw was fucking terrible. It's the fat morgue man we knew was the new Jigsaw from the first moment. Twist was not there. All it was I kill people.
It's on the upper half of the Saw.
And it's boring! Like 5 people died the whole movie. And the traps weren't good. The traps weren't good.
The traps were pretty good. Except for that one with the one with the acid was really stupid because I don't know.
I shop at Hot Topic. You want to see my Jigsaw traps? I'm not the red herring. It was so obvious. It was less obvious than an episode of Scooby-Doo.
Yeah,
an episode of Scooby-Doo is less fucking obvious. It was Scooby-Doo with gore. Not really. It was a fucking shit movie. It was a shit movie and it deserves to be lower on the list. But I compromised with 8.
Saw 5 has a good twist though. Saw 5, bad movie. Good.
All the Saw movies are bad.
No. Saw 1 is objectively good. Saw 5 is
agree
fucking
to
terrible.
very much disagree.
Except for the end. The end of Saw 5 is super bad.
We can agree to very much disagree.
Underneath that we have Daddy's Home 2, which was
Daddy's
a
Home
Christmas
2.
Carol, but it had Will Ferrell and Marky Mark in it.
Like a Christmas Carol.
Oh no, it was Christmas Vacation, but it had Marky Mark and John Lithgow and Mel Gibson.
Christmas Carol is quite a bit different than Christmas Vacation.
Yeah,
yes. Christmas Vacation.
It's pretty bad.
It had some moments, but it was pretty bad. War for the Planet of the Apes. Schindler's List with gorillas. Very bad.
Murder on the Orient Express, which we both fell asleep in, and it was
bad from what I saw.
Some guy's vanity project where he wrote, directed, and starred in his favorite book.
I'll say from what I saw, it was boring. I went to sleep for a reason.
And now we're pretty much crossing the shit line where everything becomes unbearable garbage.
Sniffly over here. Valerian, the city of 1,000 planets. Two Gucci models were hired to be in a French movie that tried to be Star Wars really badly, even though it was from a comic book series that basically inspired Star Wars. It was pretty fucking long, pretty fucking bad. Rihanna's entire part was fucking pointless and terrible.
It would have been a lot more tolerable if Rihanna was
If the movie was cut down by like an hour, down to like an hour and 30 minutes, or an hour and 20 minutes, it would have been tolerable. But they made it too long. They added a bunch of retarded shit just at time, and it's stupid.
Next up, Kong Skull Island, which was a piece of shit, and
King Kong,
ruined King Kong.
Vietnam didn't really make sense.
And they tried to make King Kong. It's basically.
It's called King Kong, but it's a completely different concept.
It's a completely different concept, and they're just using it to set up King Kong vs. Godzilla. 2020.
Yeah. Alright, next up, Star Wars The Last Jedi. I mean, again, I don't know what to say. Pretty bad movie. A third of the movie, Rose and Finn's plot point was completely pointless. A lot of people just ended up going in circles and doing nothing. Luke Skywalker was just fundamentally incorrect in the movie with what his character was. Pretty shit movie. Now you can talk about this movie that I fell asleep for like
Oh,
3/4
nice. The Dark Tower was an adaptation of The Dark Tower by Stephen King, of the second Stephen King movie this year, and it was really boring, and I did not fall asleep during it, but I might as well have, because I do not remember a single thing about it, and that's The Dark Tower and Murder on the Orient Express are the two movies we didn't talk about, because...
Okay, Murder on the Orient Express, you over-exaggerate how much I missed. It was like 40 minutes. Next up is All Eyes on Me. Tupac biopic riding on the coattails of... You didn't eat well your nose.
Yes, I did!
Well,
God.
blow your nose
Sorry,
and
I'm
eat all the
sick.
fucking boogers or something, because get rid of shit. There you go. Do that a fucking second, third fucking time. Get rid of the shit, because it's annoying. You just suck it back up.
I'm
and
not
it slides
trying.
Right back
I'm
down.
not fucking trying. I'm sorry, I'm sick.
Yeah, okay,
Get
good.
on with it.
Okay, I'm gonna start talking and Aiden's gonna sniff in about 2 seconds. Next up, All Eyes on Me. Riding on the coattails of Straight Outta Compton. Basically, Tupac biopic. I mean, we had Tupac doing shit, kind of an exaggerated, sped up version. Tupac might as well have been baby Jesus in this movie, because even when he went to jail, he did nothing wrong. Shows him getting shot a dozen times. Its story, pacing was completely fucked up. Pretty much the only good part about this entire movie was the music. The Tupac music they played was Tupac, so it was kind of good.
It was probably the worst biopic I've ever seen.
It was a very terrible Lifetime biopic. It's the worst theatrically released biopic I've ever seen, because it's just above the level of a Lifetime movie.
American Assassin was a political thriller with actors who had no charisma. Even my boy Michael Keaton wasn't feeling it. CGI that rivals The Asylum, and terrible, cringy plot, and it never should have been made and never should have been seen by anyone. But since only 2 people in the world saw it, I guess that's kind of acceptable.
The next movie was Justice League. 2 directors, no cohesive plot, DCEU movie. Is there anything more that needs to be said?
Zack
Another
Snyder
fucking
movie.
superhero movie. Yeah.
There's like a scale you determine how good a movie is. It's like you only need to ask one question: is it directed by Zack Snyder?
Yeah, pretty much. Michael Bay.
Next up, Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Men Tell No Tales.
This movie was
It's
a
long.
headache to watch.
It was boring. It was loud. You didn't care about the characters because they literally came out of nowhere.
Well, the characters were all children of
The
characters
kids.
from previous Pirates of the Caribbean movies we actually cared about.
The only character who came back in any real capacity was Jack Sparrow, aka Johnny Depp, super
Who was a
hammered,
bumbling-
crying,
Who was a bumbling alcoholic.
crap in his
real life.
pants, and it was pathetic.
I really couldn't tell if he was going for Jack Sparrow that was just hammered off his ass, losing poser or if that's actually what Johnny Depp was at this point. I think it was a mixture of both. But it was annoying. The next movie we're talking about is Power Rangers. Autistic Blue Ranger, the meme that still somehow hasn't died. One action scene, long, boring, stupid, franchise starting, yet not gonna go anywhere. Ugly, misguided, all. I don't even know what to say. It was fucking terrible.
Oh god. This Power Rangers. Well, actually, yeah.
Power Rangers is the beginning of
Power
the
Rangers
slope of hell. These are the movies, all of which could have been the worst movie of the year.
Annabelle Creation is perhaps the worst horror movie I've ever seen. It was
I don't think so, but it's down there.
a direct-to-DVD sequel to it's a sequel to a spin-off to The Conjuring, and it should have been direct-to-DVD, but for some reason it came to theaters. Nothing happens.
Should have just
It's
never
boring.
been made.
It's ugly, and I hate
Nothing
movies.
makes sense.
Creepy doll movies are the worst subgenre of movies out there, except for maybe.
Remember when it turned out
Or
that mean old man was a good guy, and then he fucking got killed or killed himself or something like that, or exploded? I don't remember what happened.
And the evil scarecrow.
Yeah, I barely remember that movie. I pretty much try to block it out. The Mummy, Tom Cruise, fucking Nick from New Girl. I remember that guy.
Wow. That was intense.
Wow, that was an intense movie. Wow. It was fucking horrible. Once again, I mean, I don't know what else to say. Setting up a cinematic universe. Still looking forward to, this movie was weak, but I think they can really turn it around with the Hunchback of Notre Dame solo movie. Bride of Frankenstein got pushed back, but I heard it's just because they want to really focus on the Hunchback solo movie. Because the Hunchback of Notre Dame, if they can get the Hunchback of Notre Dame and the Phantom of the Opera working, the Phantom of the Opera could be their Iron Man, you know? Like, he swings from stage right and kicks
and
somebody.
the Hunchback is the Hulk.
Oh yeah, the Hunchback is the Hulk. It's like, you got an army, we got a Hunchback, and then he swings down from the rafters. Like, he swings stage left, Phantom of the Opera swings stage right, and they kick alien creatures or monster creatures from hell, probably.
Next up is Transformers: The Last Night, which has the most ridiculously
It is the
stupid
worst
plot.
Transformers movie, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah, it's the most boring. The plot is the most convoluted, stupid, ass-pulley piece of garbage. Nobody can act. They can't even keep it consistent. The daughter's gone. Like, they replace her with some other daughter.
They can't keep anybody for the cast.
People just want to leave. And you don't even have... Like, the other movies, at least there was a bunch of robots fighting. This one, Bumblebee is like the only Transformer that's featured, and Optimus Prime. Everyone else is just like a background character.
And there's that old guy that's like, Samuel Wiki was my second cousin grandson.
Played
I'm
by
the last
Malcolm
of
McDowell.
Wiki.
Malcolm McDowell's showing up everywhere.
I literally wanted to shoot my fucking brains out watching this movie. It was very fucking horrible. Next on the list is Geostorm, another unbearably bad blockbuster. Shockingly not a Roland Emmerich film, even though it feels and looks like one. It's another disaster movie. Basically a remake of 2012, except more boring because nothing fucking happens. They just sit on a satellite the whole time. The movie doesn't make any sense. It's fucking horrible.
Yep. So the number 2 worst movie of the year, almost at the bottom, is Mother! Exclamation point. Tries to be deep and fails at it in every
Mother's
conceivable
fucking
way.
rape. It's
Noisy,
ear rape, it's
annoying,
eye rape.
Ugly, horrible, badly acted.
Okay,
cringy.
can you quit making fun of Jennifer
Jesus,
Lawrence and we can talk about the actual movie?
Nice.
Yeah, but seriously,
Anyway.
no, it's horrible, it's preachy, it thinks it's a fucking genius. It thinks Albert Einstein. The guy behind the camera is like, I'm a fucking genius. Like, Albert Einstein would come up to me and ask for my fucking secret because I'm so smart. Yeah, okay, I can write a story about the Bible. Here's my fucking magic Bible story. There's a baby born, and his name is fucking Tommy. His name's Tommy, and he lives in the forest, and he was birthed immaculate conception. Then he has his own baby, and the baby gets butt fucked. I don't know. This is nothing like Jesus, but that's pretty much what Mother was.
The number one
worst movie of the year is Flatliners. There's nothing enjoyable about this movie. It was boring. It fucking sucked. I mean,
it's so fucking.
Where Mother was ear and eye rape, this movie was just like, it was nothing. It was nothing. Like Ellen Page, you're gonna flatline, and then she's like, "Wow, I'm on a magical motorcycle through space." Like, what the fuck? And it's like it's a super drug metaphor, boys. It's like, okay.
It's like
I've never watched any of the original Flatliners.
It's a fucking shit movie.
And I heard, yeah, exactly. Why remake a shit movie? And who's seen Flatliners? Who has actually seen Flatliners? I'm sure there's some people out there who've seen Flatliners, but seriously. Is there enough people that give two shits about Flatliners where they're like, yes, you know what movie we really need to reboot? Flatliners. Like, who pitched this shit? And Ellen Page. Wow. Wow. Let her just sit and be in stupid, crappy video games. Actually, don't even let her do that. Just let her fucking set free. And by set free, I mean just let her fucking, I don't know, work at McDonald's. She probably has enough money that she doesn't have to work at McDonald's. I'm sure she can do something. Work at the Gap or something, but get rid of this bitch. Ellen Page should not be acting in shit. Anyways, that was our worst fucking movies of 2017. See you next year with 2018. It's probably gonna be a hoot. It's probably gonna be fucking awesome. Han Solo movie's gonna be next year. What else is coming out next year?
Fucking
Avengers, that'll be in the middle of the list. Han
Rampage.
Solo will probably be in the top 10 worst. Rampage is probably gonna be pretty fucking terrible. I'm sure there's a lot of movies that we're gonna watch next year and a lot of bullshit. Aquaman is next year, I believe. Oh god.
There's. I'm curious. I want to see if I can find the list.
Yeah. A lot of fucking garbage.
2018 movies. Upcoming 2018 releases. Oh my god.
What? Lay it on.
Insidious 4.
Not gonna watch it. Refuse.
The Room is gonna have a limited release, which is cool.
The Room?
Yeah, I guess.
Not surprised.
The Commuter, that movie about Liam Neeson on a train. Paddington 2.
I'm probably not gonna watch that.
Something called Freak Show.
What?
Maze Runner.
Aidan Gillen's triumphant return to the screen. Can't imagine that's anywhere past the top 20 lowest movies. That's being generous, probably top 10 lowest.
February is Cloverfield 3,
Oh, I forgot they ranked
which
that.
is dope, because that movie looks pretty cool. 50 Shades of Grey 4.
Probably won't see that. Actually, it's 3, I think.
No, because there's... Oh, maybe it is. Black Panther in early February.
Should be pretty good.
Something called Poop Talk. Don't know what that is.
Hopefully I don't see that.
Something called Annihilation.
That's pretty generic and boring.
Alpha, that movie about the girl who was raised by wolves.
Never heard of it, but I guess I'll watch it, probably.
The Death Wish remake.
Holy shit, that sounds horrible.
A Wrinkle in Time looks really bad.
What's A Wrinkle in Time?
It's the movie with Oprah.
Oh, I hope I don't see it.
Tomb Raider remake.
Gotta be fucking bad.
Pacific Rim 2.
Terrible.
Gonna be really bad. Sherlock Gnomes.
Very bad, probably not gonna see it.
Isle of Dogs, I'm super excited for. That's like one of
Oh yeah, that looks pretty good actually.
Oh god. Ready Player One comes out.
Ready Player One looks
That's
like Rick
gonna
and
be-
Morty the movie.
That is going to be I've read pages of Ready Player One when people post it on 4chan to make fun of it. And like, it is the most cringy thing I've ever read. It is so embarrassing. In the book, there's an entire 3 pages dedicated to how the people of the internet voted Will Wheaton as king of the universe.
That's
3 entire
so
pages.
cringe.
And that's like on the
Who?
That's on the lighter cringe.
Literally,
scale.
who the fuck would vote Will Wheaton? Like
He's in
Big
there.
Bang Theory fanboys and Star Trek Next Generation fan,
Star
aging
Trek
and dying.
fans hate Will
You think Grandma would be like, yeah, Star Trek fans do. Memesters and fake nerds. That would be like if the only chance would be if Will Wheaton was running against Bernie Sanders and everyone but Will Wheaton and Bernie Sanders supporters died, I could see him winning. Just because Bernie Sanders supporters are fucking retards.
Okay, the New Mutants comes out, and people seem excited about that. but I
Apparently
haven't
it
watched
looks
the
good.
trailer.
I refuse to watch trailers anymore.
Rampage, Super Troopers 2. What the fuck?
Might be cool.
There's something called Truth or Dare, which sounds like a ripoff of that one movie we saw with Dave Franco in it.
Oh, yeah, probably is.
Okay, Avengers.
Yeah, probably.
Slender Man.
No,
Slender Man. In theaters, May 18th. Oh my god.
Fucking kill me.
Oh my god.
Just fucking end
And
my
then
life.
a week after Slender Man is Solo.
Oh god.
A week
Kill
after
me.
that is Deadpool 2. A week after that is
Good.
Ocean's 8, the all-female
So
Ocean's 11 remake.
Probably would be bad.
A week after that is Incredibles 2, which might be okay.
I forgot that's coming so soon.
A week after that is Jurassic World.
I just don't even want to see another Jurassic World movie.
And then after that is Sicario 2. Sicario.
Jurassic
pretty
Park
movie,
was
so
good.
Sicario's
Leave it
okay.
alone.
The Purge 5? Wait.
I'm not surprised.
It's called The Purge: The Island. And
I'm actually surprised there's an island where there's
So
purges. I've not seen a single purge movie.
embarrassing.
I've been
I've
invited to. I've been asked to
Actually.
see every purge movie.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I forgot. I had no idea that was coming out next year. I thought that
Alita
was coming out
Battle
later,
Angel,
but
which
this
looks
looks cool.
fucking terrible.
What is that, an anime adaptation?
It's
Oh,
an
that's the one
anime
with the big ass eye girl.
Mamma
CGI?
Mia 2.
That's a retarded idea.
Mission Impossible 6.
I had no idea that was coming out.
Teen
I'm
Titans
surprised.
Go, the movie.
Retarded idea.
The Predator reboot.
Probably it'll be bad.
Tyler Perry's A Medea Family Funeral.
Refuse to
Didn't they
watch
already
it.
make that? Scarface remake? They're remaking Scarface.
What?
Live action Barbie movie.
No, go back one.
Scarface remake. I guess.
What?
I don't know.
The third Scarface remake, or the second Scarface remake that I know of? That's fucking dumb. Why? What's the point? Literally, what's the point? What could you not do before? The bullets are gonna be CGI now? Is that the only difference?
Live action Robin Hood.
So fucking stupid.
Goosebumps.
So stupid.
Horrorland. Goosebumps 2, I guess.
I probably won't. Yeah.
Venom comes out this year.
Fucking terrible, probably. I can't imagine that being good.
The Halloween remake might be okay.
Might be good. John Carpenter's
Oh.
co-signed it.
X-Men Dark Phoenix.
It's gonna be fucking awful. It's written by the guy who, or it's directed by the guy who wrote X3.
Holmes and Watson, which, you know, as if we needed more Sherlock Holmes tragic movies. Fantastic Beasts 2. Creed 2.
Ooh,
Even
crappy.
realize that was happening.
Creed 2 will be good.
Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Weird. Didn't know that was happening.
The animated Spider-Man movie.
That might be good. Might be bad.
Bumblebee.
Hard to say.
Bumblebee and Aquaman come out on the same day.
Horrible.
Awesome.
Oh wow. I'm actually. I
Man.
bet one of them will get delayed as the time comes.
Mary Poppins 2.
Retarded.
And then a couple don't have set dates yet, but they will come out in 2018, including The Expendables 4.
Holy shit, that's so retarded.
Cruella, which I'm gonna assume is about
Couple banditos teaming up.
no, it's probably Mary Shelley, which is probably a fucking
Biopic.
probably a fucking Frankenstein movie just called Mary Shelley for whatever reason. So that is a really, really interesting.
Wow. There's a lot of movies I didn't hear about. There's a lot of movies I forgot were coming out. There's a lot of movies I wish never would come out. Next year, honestly, next year sounds, and this isn't all the movies that are coming out, because there's always more unannounced movies that we end up seeing, or kind of less announced movies, but I have a feeling 2018 might be
Even worse.
even worse. I mean, 2017, okay, let's compare it. We got 2 calendar years of drunk views. Well, we have the 2016 video and this 2017 video. Which year was worse?
So they're both pretty bad.
I think they were almost equally bad. Neither of them really had like a movie I looked and I think is classic. Blade Runner 2049 and John Wick 2 aren't classic movies.
I'd call it 2049 classic. I guess that's kind of
I wouldn't. I would loved it. I thought it was a great movie. I wouldn't call it classic. I don't know. And it's kind of a sad year when there's basically no good movies. Like nothing that comes out that I think is like 100%. Like Blade Runner 2049 was a very good movie. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know if in 20 years anyone will talk about it. I don't know. 2017 could have. I think it's better than 2016. I think there's more quality movies. 2014 was a good year for movies. I think 2015 was alright. But 2016, 2017 have been pretty shitty. 2018, coming into it. Another year, another batch of shitty movies to watch. I mean, I guess I wouldn't even call it a new batch. It's just never ending. I mean,
never
you
ending
know,
batch of sequels.
the first week after New Year's, we're gonna see a shitty couple movies.
Not even the first week. Fucking January 2nd, Insidious 4 comes out.
Oh boy.
Insidious 3, whatever the fuck it is.
We're hopping right into it then. Another year.
Let me just put this lethal injection in so I don't ever have to watch Insidious.
That's about right. Alright, fucking see you next year.